Very good. So that is one thing, waking up before the sun rises and preparing your day before the next day. How many of you prepare your day before the next day? Like, how many of you know what you need to do next day? Some of you are saying yes, some of you are not saying yes. The best way for you to be the most efficient is to know what you're doing next, what you're doing the next day. It doesn't have to be that you know what you're doing on the whole week, but imagine if you have a goal. Imagine if you have a goal to be able to, I don't know, bring $5,000 or $10,000 a month to your business. Then by all means, you need to know how much money it needs to come on a daily basis. As a nut, you need to pay rent. You need to know what is happening every single day. Your mind, please make sure to write this down. Your mind needs command and needs to have some logical reasoning why you need to do things. How many of you here have ever tried to go to the gym next morning and you say, yes, I'm going to go to the gym, but you never wake up? Yes, at 6 a.m. I'm going to go to the gym. 9 a.m. comes and you're still in bed. But if you were to organize your gym clothes, your water bottle, leave everything ready, most likely you have a little bit more of chance to actually wake up, because the night before you would told yourself, you told your mind that, hey, I'm going to wake up and this is what I'm going to do. Your mind is to receive some type of command, logical command, that this is what you're doing. Your mind is like a child. I'll put it like that. If you don't tell your mind what needs to be done, your mind won't do it. Does that make sense? If you speak to your mind and you say, okay, at 5 p.m., I'm going to join Angela's class, what happened? You came in, didn't you? But if you don't put it into your calendar, if you don't tell your mind, okay, at this time, I'm going to join this class, you won't show up because it's not a command coming from your logical mind. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? So it is the same thing with productivity. For you to be able to become productive, you need to tell your mind, at this time, I'm going to do this. And there's not going to be no distractions. So once that understands, your body and your mind automatically understands, okay, this is what we're supposed to be doing. Otherwise, if you don't tell your kid what needs to be done, the kid will never understand and the kid will be free flow. Oh, I'm not feeling good. That person said something to me. This person said something to me. My family member is doing this. That. Are you guys understanding? You will start getting involved in all of the different things that life happen. Emotions will happen. Yesterday was a high energy day. How many of you felt a lot of emotions yesterday? Full moon. Isabella saying yes, right? Despite of all of those emotions, things need to keep on going. People will keep on going. Your dreams, your goal needs to keep on working on. Okay. So yes, you need to work on your emotions, all of the different things that we've spoken about. But if you have a specific goal that you're working towards to, you need to keep being efficient every single day. You need to keep being productive every single day. Okay, it's just like a regular exam. If you want to have an A in your exam, you don't cram all of your information the night before, right? You will have stress, you will not sleep, all of the different things. It is the same thing with any goals. It is little bit by little bit every single day that shows up the results. Does that make sense? So booking your time the day before, knowing what is happening at the next day, will give you, number one, clarity, will give you clear command to your mind, and most likely you will actually do those things. Even if it is the house things that you need to do. So for example, for me, I'll tell you, every single day I do service. For those of you who are 108 members, we do service every day, right? Morning, evening, and nighttime. Most of the time I take the morning slot because it's easier for me. If I wake up at 6, then I can start my day. I wake up, I do my service, then I come home, I tidy the whole house, I organize breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever I need to do, and then I'm off for the office. It is a command that I already know that is going to happen regardless. And after I have commanded so many times, it has become a habit. I know that before I come out of the house, I try my best to leave my house tidy. It just gives me a peace of mind. and not anxiety, for those of you who are, very perfectionist like me. But it gives me, for me, organizing my house, I can organize my thoughts and I can organize my task. I don't know how many of you are like that, but that's me. Like, if my house is disorganized, my mind is completely disorganized. But when I organize my house, and I'm sharing this because I know everybody here needs to organize your house at some point. Okay. When I organize my house, I'm fully organizing the house. I'm not in my phone. I used to play music. I don't know how many of you here have ever organized your house playing music. Anybody? My mom used to do that. My mom used to put the whole volume up and she will clean the house and do all of the different things, right? I realized that if I do put music, it'll take me at least 1 to 2 hours more than if I don't put the music. I'm creating distractions. Oh, I remember that time, and sometimes I'll cry while I'm brooming and things like that. Why? Because your mind is being distracted. You need to wash the dishes, but then you start dancing with the broom. Like, how many of you ever have done that? I'm not the only crazy one, right? It happens. So what I'm saying here, please make sure to write this down, no distractions. When you are doing something, focus only on that. A lot of the times we are doing multitasking. How many of you here love multitasking? I'm so sorry, but studies shown, and I Googled this and I researched this before I spoke to you guys, only 2% of the population are able to multitask efficiently. If you are within those 2%, I am very blessed for you to be in this call today. But if you're not from the 2% population, then we need to rethink about multitasking. All of the house things that we need to do can be done within 90 minutes. Give yourself that time to be able to finish whatever task. 90 minutes. Why do I say 90 minutes? If you focus yourself, and this is for anything, whether you want to read a book, whether you want to study, whether you want to learn a script, whether you want to record videos, give yourself 90-minute period where you don't take breaks, when you have no distractions. Your brain can be focused for at least 90 minutes. After 90 minutes, you will start to come out a little bit tired. How many of you here have ever sat down and do something and you watch the clock and it has been a long time, but you don't realize that the time has gone by? Because you're so focused, right? So what is the minimum or the maximum? I will say 90 minutes. So in those 90 minutes, if you know, number one, what you need to be doing the next day, okay, you can put that self 90 minutes. It's 1 hour and 30 minutes. It's not that much. You knocked out all the things that is not work, like the tedious work, replying to emails, setting up a schedule, booking up meetings. What are the tedious tasks? Booking up meetings, organizing the schedule, like doing the research for YouTube. Does it make sense? All of the different things that is so little tiny task. But if you start doing one after another, one after another, one after another, there will just come a ripple effect and you will start being just way more effective because you are in the mode. Then you take a break. You take a deep inhale, you go for water, you go for the bathroom break, and then you change your mindset and say, okay, what is next? Creativity work. This is how I always try to divide my time. I always say, okay, tedious work, number one, all the things that I don't like to do, replying emails, dealing with customers. It's not that I don't like you, but sometimes people could be another level and through emails, okay, replying in it, booking dates, calendar, times, all of the tedious things that is not going to even help me to achieve my goal. Okay, then you go into content creation. A lot of you here are artists and you're into the entrepreneur world. Creativity doesn't come as easy. How many of you know what I'm talking about? You need to be in a very relaxed mode, inspire, calm for creativity to happen. So you have the tedious task, that is one batch of work. Then you have the creativity aspect. Then you have the learning phase. Then you have the practice phase. And I'm basing this based on each one of you, and we are very collective in what we do at this point, right? So if you divide yourself into these 4 categories, the tedious tasks, everybody needs to do some tedious tasks, including housework, running errands, okay? Then it will be into the creative side, then we'll be into the learning mode, and then we'll be into the practical mode. The creative side, I will consider something more like the video content creator. What am I going to say in the video? What is the inspiration? What do I want to say to the public? Okay. The practical mode, I will say whether it is practicing for a script or actually doing the work of recording, actually doing the work of editing, actually doing the work of designing something. And then the learning phase is something that you need to learn, because I know most of you here are into the learning phase, learning new skill set, learning how to speak, learning how to close, learning to do landing pages, okay? So if you decide to organize yourself in those different formats, then you need to organize yourself and you need to identify yourself. When I am most creative, when does the creativity flows more to me? Because imagine if you want to be able to create something, but at 2 p.m., 5 p.m., 6 p.m., you're fried. Your brain is dead. Does it make sense? I know most of the time for me, the tedious task is the first task that I do. It's just easy to get it and over done with. I don't like to deal with those things. Between 11 and 1, for me, that is my creativity. I can really focus and plan out a lot of mapping for different funnels and different closes. That is my creative work. Then I go into the planning mode. Okay, I need to speak to this person. I need to set up this request for these meetings, all of the different things. So you need to identify yourself when in the day you are most efficient. And you want to use that time to, number 1, get the tedious task from the way. Because how many of you here sometimes realize that one task could take you hours and hours if you're not in your efficient mode? Anybody here have done that before? You can finish one task within 5-10 minutes, but if you don't do it within that gap of time, it could take you 1 to 2 hours. Distraction comes, kids comes if you have a kid, right? I know Ali has a kid. She will need to deal with her kid. A husband, partner, family, friends, a call with Master Shia Karshana, a call with a family member, a call with Angela. You will break the flow at some point because you need to attend to something else, right? So how do you organize that time is for you to decide based on who you are, okay? When am I most efficient? The earlier you wake up, the most time you will have. We only have 24 hours, but it's about using the time. This is what we always speak about in spirituality, as a matter of fact. And Master always speaks about this. How many of you remember Master always says that depending on the date, things can happen way more faster than if you were to practice on its own. For example, yesterday we had a session with Acharya Varalakshmi, the team, and we did some moon salutations, because yesterday was a very productive day and high-end day for you to do moon salutations. The energies are working with you, okay? The same thing applies on a daily basis. If you don't work with your own body and with the times and knowing what it is the best time for you, you won't be as efficient or productive. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying? So the same thing that Master always shared with us, X day is good for investment. Then you need to start testing on yourself what works for me. when is the best time for me to be productive? When is the best time for me to do the course? When is the best time for me to learn about these different things?